Hello everybody. Welcome to another live stream. I'm Steve, and this is a Mac84 live stream. We haven't done one of these in a while, so I hope everyone's doing well today. Hope, the audio and the video look good. Hopefully they are. That'd be good. Chat is lighting up. A bunch of people in the chat. I know I haven't been here for a while. Took some time off. I was relaxing. I haven't even been in the basement to do technical things. I've been taking some non-technical things to be important. Anyway, oh boy. So we are doing something weird today. We are messing around with IBM stuff, and that is typically not what I'm really into. And I'm going to explain what sort of started this whole mess. But for this month of October, this Halloween and all at the end of the month, I figured that in addition to my regular scripted videos that are planning to be going out, I'll do sort of live streams that are kind of not really what I usually do. So not 100% Mac related, but maybe IBM or Atari or Commodore related. Stuff like that. Because it's weird to me. I don't know. You go with it. It's Halloween. Anyway. Alright, looks and sounds good. Excellent. So, yeah, with not getting any paper clips or Dremels near any of this stuff. No, thank you. I don't want to open up that whole can of worms. Jeez. Anyway, before I get sidetracked. So why are we doing IBM stuff? Well, one, because why the heck not? Two, is a few months ago, I purchased a IBM card on eBay, and I wasn't aware it was an IBM card. It was listed as a MC card, and I know Microchannel existed, but I didn't know it looked so much like a PCI card. So I thought I found a PCI card that does local talk for a PC, a Windows computer. And I thought, oh, awesome, that'll work fine. I want to mess around with that. I've been waiting to do an Apple Talk, local talk video for a while, and I wanted to also cover the PC aspect of some things. So I did actually get a new in-box Apple ISA card here, and this is a ISA card. And Apple sold these so that PCs could interface with Apple laser writers and file shares and stuff like that. And actually has an Apple logo right on the PCI, on the ISA card bracket. Well, it's the same bracket. But this is an ISA card. This is for older PCs. And so on eBay, I was looking for other cards because Apple wasn't the only one that made them. Farallon made them after Apple stopped making them and so on. And there's an IBM one. There's a few of them that were made for the IBM Microchannel architecture. And I got one, and I didn't know it was an IBM one, so I got the thing in the summer, and I'm like, what are these weird blue clips on it? Oh, that's for an IBM. I don't have one of those. So thankfully, with just my luck, I was going to the e-waste place in Brooklyn. This is over the summer when I picked up all those Macs, and there was an IBM PS2 Model 50Z, which has a microchannel, slots in there. So I was like, oh, great, perfect. And so I've been tinkering around with that. I recapped the hard drive and the floppy disk drive. The floppy drive on mine works. The hard drive, although it works, it's old. I mean, it's some weird formatting thing. I tried to erase it. It didn't really want to work. It's probably broken. But anyway, because of all this IBM nonsense, Mike and I have been talking a lot. Mike knows a ton about IBM stuff. In fact, I'm going to paste this into the chat real quick, because if you are not subscribed to Mike's channel, you should, because he has been doing videos on this awesome IBM that he got. So a few months ago, Mike and I found this IBM around the same time that we were looking at my IBM PS250Z, and we were looking at things on social media and things for sale and stuff, and we came across this IBM P70. It's basically like a laptop luggable type thing, and it's really cool. It has a gas plasma amber display, has a hard drive in it, a floppy drive in it, has expandability slots and all sorts of stuff, has full VGA out or CGA out, whatever. Well, I forget the exact color palette it had, but essentially, we waited long enough. The guy was asking a lot of money, and then he just wanted it gone, and Mike was able to pick up a good deal on that. Please check out his channel, because he has a few videos that he's been doing on this thing, which are excellent, because he just goes over all the details. He knows a lot about this stuff. Mike just knows a lot about all of this IBM stuff. He used to work on a lot of them. He's like an encyclopedia about it. So when I got my IBM stuff, And I started tinkering around. I had no idea what I was doing. And Mike's like, oh yeah, you just, there's a tool hidden over here. Use that to pop these things off. And then you lift this up and then do that. I'm like, okay. So I recently met up with him and he gave me his floppy drive that needs fixing. And don't worry, Mike, the screws are still attached to your tape there, and they're in that little compartment. And the capacitors leaked on this, and one of the traces looks like it's pretty damaged too. So we're going to be fixing that today. But I just wanted to bring you up to speed about why we're doing IBM stuff. And hopefully we'll get this drive working, because it is very similar, if not the same, to my drive. I have a little plastic sled thing on mine, and I have a cable because mine goes to a different machine. But other than that, the drives are identical. It looks to be the exact same board and everything. So I shouldn't have any issue. What's funny is mine had the same exact trace that was corroded there. So these caps there are what need to be replaced. And I just got the caps in the mail today, so we'll be able to do that. So tons of chat to catch up on here. All right. So yeah, they look like they are the same drive, Mike. Because if I look at the model number on the right here, slightly different, DFP723D1. Mine is a 2A, yours is a 5B, but that might just be a serial number then. But yeah, same voltage and everything, same rating, 12 volt 47 amp, DC 5 volt 0616 amp, Alps Electric Company, yeah. So very similar. The motor has the same thing, so I think it's just a part that they used. But good to know that ours are the same 1.44 drive, so yeah, we could probably test them before you do anything. But the other thing I want to mention, I'll be plugging this tomorrow, sometime tomorrow afternoon, and I'm going to put it on Twitter and I'll put it on YouTube. Mike is coming here. That's right, he's coming here. And we're going to do a crazy live stream. He's going to bring his IBM. I'm going to hopefully have my IBM and this drive fixed. And we're going to try and play with those Apple Talk things I talked about. So we have that Apple Talk card. If it doesn't work in my machine, maybe it'll work in Mike's. He has a little bit more experience with the TOPS software package and all this stuff to try and get it to work. We're just going to have a crazy old time. So please, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, if you want to look at this crazy stuff with me, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Please tune in. I think it's going to be one of those things you're going to want to be there live for. So sometime tomorrow afternoon, probably after 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or something like that, Eastern time, Mike is going to be here. We're going to be looking at this stuff, and who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, there will be room once I move some of these G5 towers out of the way. So. Yeah, planning around 2 p.m. That'd be great. All right, so I've been rambling on for 10 minutes and did not say hello to anybody in the chat. How rude of me. Let's see. We have Mike from Mike's Mac Chat, of course. We have Distro Hopper. We have Hot Rod. We got Cat Dude Everything. Hello. Lord of Nothing. Hello. Classy Mac and Crazy Tech Reviews. We got, who else we got here? Housewarming. Okay. Sad Mac 356 as always. Nick, hello. Tech and Music, hello. Michael, hello. Tobias, hello. Let's see, anybody else I missed? Raw Elements, hello. And let's see. Oh, Action Retro, hello, Sean. Yes, crossover episode. Hello, Patrick. And yeah, Eeps all around. Eep, eep, eep. All right, cool. So let's get started here. What I'm going to be doing is taking a look under the microscope here at this drive. I'm going to show you exactly what the heck is going on here. So, all right, so hopefully you could see that there. And let me just adjust this little window here. You don't need to see as much of me. That's a little bit too much. Let me just crop this if I can. Let's see, transform. You know what? That's fine. Whatever. We'll manually crop it by moving the camera. How about that? There we go. Okay, so. Oh, so Raw Elements is fixing a 2007 iMac right now. Sounds fun. Okay, and hello to all the pets who are cuddled up next to their owners right now. Okay, so I'm looking in here, and the first thing I see, let me get a little tool here so I could point at things. There it is. So the first thing that I see is identical to the problem that happened on mine. Is you see there's this trace here. There's this black trace, and it's corroded. So it's all black. It should be nice and shiny, but it's not. And let me adjust the lighting here. There we go. And yeah, that needs to be cleaned up and probably repaired. And this little capacitor here is probably okay. These two, however, will be replaced. So these two, there's a 4.7 microfarad 25 volt and a 10 microfarad 16 volt capacitor. Those two will be replaced. And you can see there's a lot of corrosion going on there, so hopefully that should be fairly simple. There are some other corrosion marks here, and so we will be scraping that away and just fixing this all up here. And hopefully this shouldn't give us too much trouble, but just giving you an idea of what we're looking at here. I also see there's just some garbage. Looks like some bridge solder almost between those two pins. And on mine too, these pins were very dirty, so disgusting. But the PS2s are very, very interesting, and Tech and Music, you are correct in that. The designs are very nice. I actually, got a bit of a thrill playing around with it because it's, something I don't really have a lot of experience with. And, with a lot of Apple stuff, I'm not an expert on a lot of this stuff. There's some things I'm not 100% familiar with, but by and large, I know a lot about Mac stuff. So when it comes to something like a Commodore or an Atari or an IBM, it's kind of exciting because it's like, oh, okay, that's different. So. Okay, I just realized my new scalpels that I got are upstairs. So I'm going to have to go grab them because I don't want to use the dull scalpel and just stab into this thing. I don't think Mike would appreciate that. So I'm going to have to do that in a little bit. But first, I'm just going to try and get these two capacitors off. Now, the problem is there is this little part of the floppy drive that moves. Well, not little, but it's this big motor thing here. And so I'm going to have to just be careful with the heat gun here with these two caps. I do not want to melt any of this. I don't think it was a problem on mine because this is actually plastic. It's not rubber. So we should be okay with that. But all right. Yeah, I have to say that, getting the system is probably going to be the most expensive part. But the IBM PS2 stuff doesn't seem to be too bad. Obviously, anybody who's into this stuff understands what they want to pay for it, but it's not too bad, I don't think, and just my opinion there. But all right, so let's bring this in on the side here, just so you're not staring at the back of my head the entire time. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to get my hot air station here, and we're going to try and get rid of those capacitors as calmly and quickly as possible. Now, unfortunately, the flux I ordered just never showed up, and I got a refund for it. So I have to order some other flux soon. So I'm using with the piece of hair in the end, I'm just using the flux that I have here, but I can't be too willy-nilly about just putting globs of flux all over the place. But I have a bit of a limit. I can always go back to the original flux I have, but that's not the best. But we have almost 20 people here. Hello, everybody. Hopefully your Friday is going well. Just maybe ended work or anything. And yeah. I don't control the ads on YouTube. There are some preferences that I can set, and those preferences are basically don't have unskippable ads because I don't like those, and I don't think anybody else likes them. That's what I turn off. So yeah. If the screen goes dark on your iBook, it's probably the ribbon cable. The ribbon cable is wrapped around the hinge there, and some of the GPUs on the early iBooks did have problems. So depending on your model, you might have some issues with that, but hopefully that's not the case. Okay, so let's go ahead and as we prepare for this fun weekend, just dive into this IBM here. So I'm going to get the heat gun out, and we are hopefully going to be very gentle because Mike is watching. We don't want him to yell at us here. And in fact, I am going to place, got these little PCI cover brackets. I'm just going to put this right there just to provide some protection there. And hopefully this won't be a popper. Whoop. Well, that was a popper. How about that? Jeez. All right. Eep. This one just does not want to come off. All right. Pretty uneventful. Just some pops. Yes, okay. That's a very good tip there, Logan. Instead of eep, we're working on IBMs. It should just be a monotone PC speaker. Beep. It's all part of the scary stuff that's going on here. So, yeah, that's just flux residue on the plastic here. So we didn't melt anything. Yay! Mike won't beat us. So, all right. So those two caps are gone, and they don't look too bad there, the pads. So let's move those over. All right. Now I think I have a cheat sheet here for the IBM drive that I did. I mean, there are only two caps, but the polarity and such. Yes, here we go. So I have, well, you can't really see that. I have to do, I'm a bit rusty here. There we go. So I have a very technical drawing of the IBM floppy drive. So we can replace those two capacitors there. And actually, that's all the things we really have to do. So it's an IBM. I know it's very spooky, very spooky. I'm just waiting for my desk to stop shaking because this hot air station is just going nutso. I can't show you the whole thing because my address is written on the other side. But this is also the diagram that I made for the IBM PS2 hard drive. There were a bunch of capacitors on there, and they all needed to be replaced. And the drive works. It just is probably dying of old age. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, upstairs is not... are you talking about my office? I don't really live stream from my office because it's my office, and I try not to bring stuff up there. That's what made my office so messy in the first place. I brought stuff up there to do videos on, and yeah, so not a good idea. Got all messy up there, but yeah, definitely. I don't know if I have all the caps for those. 6.8 volt. Yeah, some of them were odd sizes that I don't normally stock. But I might have some leftovers because the weird size capacitors are sometimes they're like $2-3 each. So it's like I don't want to really hit a just have a bunch of those on hand if I'm not going to use them. But all right, so let me just make sure we are catching up here. I don't want to leave anybody hanging here. Yes, I do have an IBM to test it with. We will be testing it with my IBM 50Z. Now, something Mike and I were talking about just before the stream started is my IBM has... oh, actually, it's different. So maybe we can test. I see what they did there. Very similar, but the port is different. So this is Mike's drive, and he has these pins here for connecting the drive to the IBM. You see that? Mine is similar, except I have this little connector here with this cable coming out, and this plugs into my IBM. So we actually will not be able to test this. I mean, technically, I guess I could desolder the whole thing, but I'm not going to be doing that. It also looks like there's a slight differentiation actually on this part of the board here, because you have different traces going to different pins. So I thought it was identical, but this board is probably just slightly different, or maybe just a different revision. anyway, I just noticed that now. So we can't test this, but even after recapping this, we have some other fun things we could do. So good to note. Good to note. So all right. A lot of people repairing stuff this weekend. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's what I do this weekend. All right. So most weekends actually. So okay, just catching up on the chat here. Yeah, there's probably a different controller board. Mike is right. So we will leave the suspense of testing it to tomorrow. That's the lure to get you all here. We planned it that way. No, we didn't. But I'll take the credit. So what I'm going to be doing then is actually I have a sneaking suspicion, and I'm glad I took a photo of this thing before. I have a it's probably going to be around 2 o'clock tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Sean. I'll know an exact time in a little bit, but I'm just confirming here. I just want to, because I took pictures of the floppy drive here. I just want to confirm. Well, I could also just rewind my own YouTube things here, and I just want to confirm the placement is not different in the capacitors for Mike's floppy drive. I mean, I'm assuming they're the same. I have my guide that I wrote just for mine, and I just want to make sure that I didn't screw up here, because that's that would be a boo-boo. I don't want to do that. So let me just skip over here. I'm just watching the video that I did. Okay, yeah. So on mine, let's just check here. Okay, on mine. Oh, so it is different. So the capacitors, well, maybe the guide is wrong. I don't know. Knowing me, I can make a mistake. Of course, I'm not perfect. But on Mike's here, the 10 microfarad capacitor is on the right, and the 4.7 is on the left. Okay, so let me just make a note here, so we do not screw this up, because Mike knows where I live. All right, so we have one cap here and one cap there. And this is a 10 microfarad, 16 volt. And this is a 4.7, 25 volts. So the same values, but it could be that in my recapped one, they're a little different. But well, I'll double check that later. Either way, my floppy drive works fine. So even if I did screw that up on mine, which I probably did. I think it's just the guide that I did wrong. But anyway. All right, let's get back to it then. So anybody else have IBMs? I know a lot of you guys that follow me either have old Macs or you have older Apple II machines or stuff like that. But does anybody have IBMs or Commodores or Ataris? I like all vintage computers, so I just love anything. So. All right, so let's see here. All right, so actually, I'm gonna run upstairs get my scalpel because I got a new pack of them. The retractable ones I've been using since like January are quite dull right now, so I don't really want to just continue using those. I want to start out with something fresh. So let me run upstairs for like 60 seconds, and I will be right back. And you can enjoy this photo of my Apple IIgs. Yeah, at least we have some Apple stuff in this stream. I'm number 10. Woohoo! I would rather be with number 1, Mike. But if you want to say I'm number 10, that's cool too. All right. Let's see. When was the PS1 made? I don't know. Mike knows. That's why Mike is here. All right. So we got a scalpel handle here. I've never used this type of a one, so let's hope I don't slice my hand open. I'll turn into a Ruck Mods video real quick. We'll save that for tomorrow. These pliers are very... Come on, what type of pliers is this? These are Dana-proof pliers, jeez. You can't even do anything to them. There we go. Okay, so we have a thing of Swan Morton curved scalpel blades. They're the same type that Bruce recommended. So hopefully they do us proudly here. Where is... Yeah, I just wanted to show you the one I was previously using. These are fine. These are pen blades, and so what I like is you do this, they come out. You do this, they come back. So sort of a safety thing, which is nice, but we should be okay. Should be. I have to open this thing first. You have to use a scalpel to open the scalpel box. How about that? Yeah, I mean, the IBM was, just in my opinion, their design language always looked of the late 80s to me. Even in their IBMs, PS2s and stuff like that. It always just looked that way to me, so I don't think you would be wrong to think of that. That, oh, it's, they look older, because they kind of do. I mean, not that they didn't have a good design. I mean, you could take apart an IBM with no tools, an IBM PS2, pretty much with no tools. So, all right, let's see. I don't know how to really put these on, so this will be fun. Peel here, okay? And there's the blade. Now, how does this go on here? Oh, I see. So it's kind of like... Use my pliers! Mac84 figures out how to put a scalpel on a blade. That doesn't look like it fits. Oh, I see how. Okay, it goes like kind of like that. Hey, there we go. That's sharp. Let's see how long it takes me to accidentally pick it up by the pointy end. No, thank you. Let's try not to do that, or this will turn into a Ruck Mods episode real fast. Okay. Yeah, I actually do like the design of those. Not bad. Alright, back to the microscope here. What we're going to do is we're going to go around and look at those nasty traces here. And try to get all of that cleaned up. So let me take my glasses and pin them over here, because they're not going to help me when I'm looking through this. Okay. Alright, so the first area that I am concerned about here is right here with these traces. So I'm going to zoom in a bit here. Hopefully you guys can see that as well as I can. I know that the camera sometimes gets a little fuzzy, but I need to have it adjusted slightly so I can see better. So that's the point of it. But wow, that is a sharp, nice little blade there. Alright, so probably put my, I don't know, no, I don't even, I'm debating if I should leave my glasses on or off, and that's just commentary from me being me. And I just need to focus this just a bit on my side. There we go. That's a little bit better. Hey, it's always good to have some spare parts. So even if you can't use them, somebody else can. So yeah, we got some corrosion here, obviously, because we're seeing all these are little solder balls here. Actually, that's a curse word to Jay, solder balls. But look at those. Those are little solder balls there. So that is interesting to see. But what happens with a lot of these is just the way the solder, sort of, I guess, decomposes with corrosion. And you can get these little solder balls that are just hanging out there. So what I'm going to be doing is just scraping these traces here. And I'm just trying to get used to holding this blade because it's a very different shape than the other one. But any of this black stuff, I just want to scrape away. And that is doing it. Oh my gosh, it's so sharp. So we're just getting, there's nice copper under there, which is good. So I'm just lightly scraping all that stuff off because it's just going to make it much harder for us to do anything. I'm going to have to get a different angle here. But the goal is to scrape all that away and then put some fresh solder over that to prevent it from corroding further. And raw elements, I'm very, very jealous of that wide image writer. I didn't even know they made a wide image writer. But Apple made an image writer that was wide. It wasn't the LQ, which is the big image writer that everybody talks about. It wasn't that one, but man, very cool. Very, very cool. I am very jealous, like I said. If you ever get bored with it, you know where to send it. That's all. I think my goal is to have an army of image writers. But look, there's a solder ball here. There's a solder ball here. Now, those are going to be fun to get out. There. They fell onto the desk, thankfully. But yeah, that's the problem with all this stuff. Oh, boy. An unexpected guest. I hope he took a lot of his crap with him. Oh, boy. I'm just trying to get the hang of scraping with this scalpel because it's very different than the one I'm used to. Just like the handle. It's just throwing me off, but... Again, all this crud off of here from this nasty trace. This isn't actually as bad as the one that I had, Mike, where it was completely gone. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this from a different angle, but no, we had a deal, Jay. We had a deal. Well, this is quite nasty in this area here. Ugh. Ooh, yeah, no thank you. Ugh. Yeah, all of this is going to have to be cleaned up with a lot of alcohol here because a lot of this is just gunk that's been sitting around under these caps. And I'm gonna braid that away with the soldering wick and everything first, but I just wanted to poke at it, and I'm just gonna continue to get all this disgusting stuff off of here. That's good. I'm glad. That way we don't have to ship that stuff. It'll just take him a few years to come here, but that's okay. I'll hold his Apple II ransom, so thank you, Jay. Okay. I bet these traces are actually going to test okay, but, you don't want to leave any of these corrosive spots on here because it will just continue to eat away. And, if you're going to go in here and repair some of these things, you might as well just go all the way here and get all this crap out of here and taken care of. This is your problem now. some of this isn't really that bad, thankfully. My machine was a little bit worse, I think. All right, let's continue around here. Just see if there are any other spots. There's some more solder balls here. Look at these solder balls. These are genuine IBM solder balls, manufactured in wherever that place in New York is that I always forget that IBM manufactured their stuff. But oh my goodness, it's a lot of little solder balls everywhere. Well, that can't be helping anything now, can it? All right, everything else looks pretty much okay. Up from this trace on this pin down. Let me just make sure the camera's in the right spot. Yeah. From here all the way down here, we're going to have to clean up more. And some of these legs look a little suspect, and this trace here does too. But this is all just so... Ugh. Let's look at this. Might want to take that component off, but it's so close to the belt, not the belt, but the spinning part of the drive. I don't really want to do that. But Armonk, thank you. I knew it began with an A. Oh, the drives weren't made by IBM. All right, well, they get blamed for these traces anyway. All right, so let's. I don't want to gouge these here. I just want to scrape them, but there we go. It's very hard because these traces are very uneven because of all the gunk that's on them. So you start scraping and you don't do anything, and then you have to sort of get at it from a different angle. But I hope this isn't too boring. We're going to be putting some new caps on here in a little bit, but first we just need to clean up these traces. And unfortunately, like I said, we cannot test the floppy drive because it does have a different connector on the board. I guess I could swap boards. I guess I could do that, but I don't really want to mess with it because Mike will be here tomorrow in person, live, and we'll be messing around with our IBMs. We could test it there, so that'll be the carrot on the stick to get you all back here. But figured I haven't been doing anything all week. Might as well get this done and chat with you guys for a while and see what you guys been up to. So I know Jay's been cleaning from the House of Moth, and Mike from Mike's Mac Shack has been making videos on his IBM PS70. I'm sorry, PS2 P70. And calling that a portable is just... Ugh. See you later, Jay. No worries. IBM planted the solder balls. Oh, boy. Well, hello to all 22 of you who are watching right now. I greatly appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions for me, for non-Apple stuff to play around with this month, I'm kind of toying with the idea and kind of talking about it out loud, sort of, I guess, makes it true, that this month I'll maybe not exclusively focus, but generally focus on non-Apple things just to mess around with. It doesn't have to be a computer. It could be old electronics or video game systems or stuff like that. But, ooh, look at that. That's a big solder ball right there. Ooh. Oh, boy. Let's get that in focus for you guys, because that is... let's see if that comes through here. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. Just hiding right between those two pins there. It's not making contact, it doesn't look like, but my goodness. Let's get that out of the way. That's a big one. Wow. Tells an IBM joke. I never trust a computer you can't lift. That's not my joke. That's the original Macintosh's joke comparing an IBM mainframe. Because you can't lift it. Use the jokes. This is why I don't tell jokes. Let's continue scraping along here. But what are some of your favorite non-Apple computers? Any of you have an Atari or an IBM? I think I asked this a little bit. I didn't see too many responses, or maybe I'm just not paying close enough attention. But repeat them, please, if you had. But very curious on everyone's experience because I grew up with a Mac and didn't really have too much experience with anything but a Mac for a while. So, but that's just me. I know everyone's different. Some of you probably never had a computer, until you went to school or you needed one for school or something. Especially if you grew up in the mid 1980s or early 1980s, computers were much more expensive and less common. Not to say that people didn't have them, they did, but it wasn't as common. Today, everybody has a tablet at least. The Solderball's hide-and-seek streak of 30 years has been ruined. Mike's first computer was a Sinclair ZX80, or as they like to say it in Europe, a ZX80. Gateway PC from 2001. Oh boy. Hello, Micro Major Pair. Welcome to the stream. A TRS-80 Model 3. Traded 2 NES games for it. Wow. Texas Instrument Thingy. That's a very technical term for a TI computer. Thingy. Oh boy. So I think we got most of the worst part here, but sorry, I'm fumbling with the controls of my microscope. It's been more than a few weeks and I played around with this thing, so and this will look much nicer once we get all these little metal shards and gunk all of the board here. But my first computer, as you probably heard me say it a million times, but my family's computer growing up was a Macintosh 2CX, and boy, was that a great first computer. Color, we had an ImageWriter 2 printer. We later had a CD-ROM drive for it. So, I mean, geez, we used that computer as much as we could. But that was the first computer I have a very fond memory of. All right. Dale really wanted an Amiga growing up. I think those are really neat. I don't have one. They're very expensive these days, but. So Tom is a fan of the 46 machines. Those are nice, yeah. Yeah, I remember our school, in the mid-90s, my middle school still had Apple II machines. They had a classroom full of them. And in 6th grade, I was actually helping the teacher, set them up. And, this was just, a math teacher. And I don't even know what the goal was. Was it just to set them up because they just had them and they were surplus? This was also around the time of the 90s where people were like, well, it's a computer. They're all the same, right? And, these are machines from, the late 1970s, early 1980s that were hanging around. They had almost every model of Apple II there. They had a 2E. They had some 2 pluses, I think. They just had whatever they had. Some had color screens. Most of them had green screens. I think they only had 3 color screens. And then they had like 1 or 2 Mac Classics. And I remember trying to like swindle my way to get a Mac Classic home. And I sort of dreamed about taking one home because I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool to have one, blah, blah, blah. But, I think it would be a few years later before I actually got to play around with one. But I just thought those were cool. But so I was the geeky kid that was playing around with the Apple IIs, and I got them set up and everything. I think I got extra credit or whatever for doing that. And I will never forget one of the more hip kids in class, when we were introducing the computers, the teacher was introducing the computers, raised his hand and said, "Can these go online?" And the teacher pointed to me, and I said, no. I mean, little did I know, sure, you could plug a modem into them, but no, not really. The kid wanted to know about AOL and stuff like that. Yeah, no. But yeah, at that point, most of the kids in class probably had an internet connection at home, and probably had AOL or something, and they were not used to these computers, which were of course old by the standards that we were used to. All right. PowerBook 540C, that's a pretty good PowerBook. Oop. Well, Dale, that will make it a little harder to boot. on your TRS-80. Right. So my watch is very delayed. For some reason, I'm getting text messages that I got like over a half hour ago. I think it's just because I'm on a new iOS on my phone, but the watch doesn't have enough space to update, and it just keeps bugging out here. So, fun times. PowerBook Duo and a 540C and a portable. Very cool. Very cool. I'm going to actually turn the notifications of this off because it keeps bugging out and thinking I have new messages, and I clearly do not. All right. Let's... fix this up here. All right, so that doesn't look too bad. These traces, this trace here, I'm not going to dig into that because it doesn't look like there was. I'll do it over here, but I don't think that's clean underneath. I don't think I have to worry about that. Alright, so I'm going to get some alcohol and a cotton swab here and clean some of this up, and hopefully I'll pick up some of the solder balls with it. But, yeah, this is going to... A lot of this will just need to touch up with a soldering iron and should be okay. Where did my little cotton balls go? Cotton swabs, whatever you want to call them. Oh boy, it's been a while since I've been down here, so everything is kind of like everywhere. Let me stand up here and just take a look real quick. Nope, that's not there. Huh. Oh boy. Well, I do have a few in here, so I could use these. We're not going to need all of them, hopefully. But all right, so soak up all this garbage, all these little shards. Hopefully it's going to get most of them. So we have nice shiny traces now. We'll clean those up a little bit more, but especially these pads here, we're going to redo them. Make sure we get all the old solder off of the one on the left. No worries. We're going to be going on for a little bit here, so if you got to go tend to something, you got to use the bathroom, whatever. You do what you got to do. I'll be right here for a while. All right. You see some solder balls hanging around everywhere. Jeez. Now, Mike, did you actually test the floppy drive? Or did you look at the caps first and go, oh, no? I forget if you told me, but just curious. That's what I'm missing, my little snips. Where'd they go? Where did they go? There we go. Found them. Yeah, because I know I with my IBM, I found after Mike was showing me how to take it apart, I found that the capacitors were all rotted, and so you know what I said, let me not touch any of this now. And we just we just decided to test it without the hard drive and the floppy drive. And I waited to test them before I fixed them and recapped them because I didn't want to risk it. But all right, well, it was 700 for a Mac Classic. No, thank you. That better be that better be for like 70 Mac Classics or 100 at that point. Jeez. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry if the little zoom gets a little nauseating. That's I'm a little sensitive to that too, so I try not to move around. But you know, if I just breathe on this microscope, it's gonna nudge, and the same with the other camera. I hit the tripod a lot, so apologies. It's not intentional, I assure you. But I don't have a camera operator. It's just me. So, all right. What I'm going to try and do here is very carefully get some of this old crummy solder off of these pads here. I think if that guy was listing it, he would have to add another 0 onto that listing. Knowing the way he usually adds things, sells things rather, or tries to sell things. If he's actually doing any actual selling. I can't speak today, so. All right, so let's carefully. Let's see, does that nudge up enough? Yeah, there we go. Now let's try and get these old crud, solder, whatever junk off of here. Yeah, oh, look at all that. Yuck. Yuck. And we can reveal that that trace needs a little touching up, so we'll be doing that. I'll just clean up some of this here. Right. yeah, Mac Classics weren't exactly the best machine when they were new. I mean, yeah, Apple sold them for more than that, but yeah. Oh boy. Now this doesn't actually have anything on there. I just want to clean that up because there's a lot of gunk there. Just wherever I could just sort of reflow some solder and get some of this crap to come off of there, I think we'll reduce our chances of having solder balls in the future, hopefully. Yeah, just look how disgusting it makes everything look. But we will clean all that up. It'll be okay. Yeah, I mean, I shared it on the MacYak show yesterday, but I'm actually working on a vintage Apple pricing guide. And the whole purpose of that guide is to show, actual fair pricing for what these machines sell for. And, with accessories, without accessories, with all the items, without all the items, because a lot of these people are just going nutso with this stuff. And yeah, I know the people that want to make a top dollar on this stuff are probably not going to listen to any logic and common sense as far as pricing goes with these things. But, there used to be some very good guides out there from like Low-End Mac and Every Mac and all that stuff. They used to roughly state how much these things were worth and whatever, but that sort of isn't done anymore. And so why the heck not to try and do a new one? So I shared that on the YouTube chat of MacYak yesterday, and it is very much a work in progress. I only really completed the compact Mac section and some of the keyboards and mice sections, but that is something I will be sharing and talking about much more, because it is something near and dear to me, because I've been the victim of going to pick something up only to find that the guy has a way different price in mind, and walk away empty-handed, and that's kind of a waste of time for both people. So, fun times. Yeah, some gunk hiding under there. How dare you? Yeah, this a little suspect here. Alright, that's okay. Alright. Yeah, a lot of these people who are selling this stuff as untested, they're just, they either don't have the materials to test it, or they're lazy, or they know it's broken. I mean, it's really a lot of these things, they use such a standard power cord that's available on a lot of things today. You know, coffee machines use them, tea kettles use them, printers use them, a lot of things, TVs use them. This standard power connector, you could basically find a plug for things. Now, that's speaking with a technical mind. A lot of people, oh my gosh, the plug fits, but I think I'm going to break something. I don't want to risk it. You know, not a lot of people are going to think like we do. But still, you know, it's a little difficult to really think, well, is this untested? And not wonder, well, is it just broken? Is that what's going on? Is that really just broken? Like, just tell me if it's broken. No, they don't want to tell you it's broken. They want top dollar for something, or a crazy amount. There's a little special. But hello, Trina. Welcome to the stream. All right. So there's a lot of gunk under this chip here. I'm just gonna try and get some of that out from there. It looks like there's a lot of flux under here. I don't think the flux I put under there sort of got there, but maybe it was sitting there for a while. Who knows? Another solder ball has been excavated from the site. Okay. So for those of you just joining, this is an IBM PS2 floppy drive from Mike's Mac Shack. He has an IBM PS2 P70. This is a floppy drive from that unit. And we are putting two caps on here, but there's also a lot of crud on here. So we're just cleaning this up as we go along. Unfortunately, we cannot test this drive today. We will be testing it tomorrow, though, because Mike will be here in person live. And we'll be having a bunch of geeky fun. That should happen around 2 p.m. in the afternoon-ish. Something around that time. We'll post about it on Twitter and such. Once I get the YouTube link all set up beforehand and everything. But that'll be a blast. That'll be a lot of fun. Because Mike will have his IBM and I'll have mine. No idea if we're going to be successful with anything. Because why? But yeah. Alright. Just catching up on here. Yeah, a lot of people think the Mac Classic is the original Mac just because it has that name in it. But you gotta, if you think about it, even if you're not familiar with this stuff, why would you call something a classic if it's brand new? If it's a classic, it's sort of referring to, oh yeah, that's the older one, or this is like the low-end model, or this is like a throwback, or, you know, whatever. But people just see the shape, they think the word classic, and they probably go, oh yeah, that's the first one. Alright. There's little solder balls attached to the frame here. It's not going to hurt anything, but might as well get the heck out of here. Thank you. Alright, so we don't got too much to touch up here. I'm going to use my multimeter, or as my friend Bruce likes to call it, the beep 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 machine. Because it makes beepy noises. And we're going to put that in continuity mode, and we're going to just test to make sure that these traces are actually going where they're supposed to go. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And we can see if these traces are actually making a link here. Bruce! Yeah, he's probably still sleeping. It's a little early for him. Alright, so from here to here. Alright, that's good. And from here to here. Alright, that one's still good. From here to here, that's good. Let's see. That one's good. Yeah, so this all is fine. I don't even think I have to put a wire like I did on mine, because mine there was just no trace there, and I put a wire there. I could just probably just put some solder over this and it should be okay. The only concern is obviously where these two caps are, just to be very careful. But that should be okay. It's a little hazy out, so if I do some UV solder mask, that's probably not going to help us. But I think we'll be okay because the caps I have are very tiny. I'll just be very careful. There's no thing in between here, thankfully. But yeah, let's clean this up a little bit and continue. And if it doesn't work, we'll find out tomorrow. But at least we'll be able to test that very soon. But okay, so let me get my book out again because I've already forgotten which capacitor goes where. All right. So this is where the chip is. Okay, so the 4.7 capacitor is on the left, and the 10 microfarad capacitor is on the right. Okay, so now is the fun part where I get a little bag that I have. Let me put my glasses back on so I actually see. Crack that wick. Oh boy, you guys are funny. And after we recap this, I do have some goodies to show off. I do have some cables and things that I bought recently. And some mystery boards that I will be sharing. So I want to tell you guys about that stuff. Alright, so here are the capacitors that I just got delivered today. Oh, YouTube's default logo. You guys should get yourself logos. That'd be cool. Or, you know, just put a picture of your pet or something. Or your favorite computer. That's a fun one. Everybody should change their avatars to their favorite computers. Really? Alright, there we go. Plastic is surprisingly strong. Alright, so I ordered a bunch of different caps here. These are obviously not for this, but these are axial capacitors for a Macintosh. And here's the tiny ones that we're going to be using today. And let's see. I ordered a few different ones because I forgot the exact size because I ordered a few different ones last time. But these should all be okay. And here's the 4.7. Oh, so I got two different ones here. Yeah, these were a little expensive. They were, you know, usually a capacitor is like 50 cents or 70 cents or $1. These were like $2 or $3 each. But you could see, well, you can't see. You could see how tiny they are. Look how tiny. And then this one is these are a little bit bigger than that one. So, tiny, tiny, tiny capacitors. But we need them to be tiny because we're replacing tiny ones. So that's sort of why I did that here. But these will actually work out fine. We'll only be needing one of those. And the 10 microfarad one I already have. So let me just... my bag of capacitors here. Let's see, is this them? Are these they? 16 volt 10. Yep, there we go. Now, although it doesn't need it, there are these three capacitors up here that do not look like they are leaking currently. They look like they're in pretty good shape. These are not polarized, so there's no polarity between them. But what I did do is I did get a few of these capacitors that could go in their place. So if we had to, let's say if we plug this drive in tomorrow and it doesn't work, I should be able to replace those. So I did get 6 of them. So 3 for Mike's drive, 3 for mine, if I ever have to do that. Because, I mean, it's not if they'll leak, it's just when. So, might as well get that taken care of. Alright. I'm going to mute the microphone for a second as I drink some of this water so you don't hear me going slurp, slurp, slurp. So, now onto the exciting part. Capacitors. We already have one that came out of here. Okay, is that the... This text is so tiny on these that you literally need a microscope. So that is a little capacitor. That's a tiny one. Look at that. Look how tiny that capacitor is. Oh boy. My goodness. I sure slurped the slurp that slurp. Alright, so we got that one. That is the 10 microfarad 16 volts. So let's put that on first, because that's the one that we're going to be using. And so let me just get this out of the way. This book here. And let me just make a note in here. So I'll make a note of exactly where these are. So that is 4C, 6C. All right, so this one here. Just make sure I'm doing the right one here. 7C is the 4.7. Yep. So that's 7C. And the one over there is 4C and 6C. So that's fine. All right. So we're going to do the 10 microfarad one first. That's the one furthest away from that black chip. And that's the one that we took out of the bag. So perfect. All right. So let's take a look at this area again. Focus. And that doesn't look too bad. We should be okay. Now we do have to make sure that we're putting this cap in the right position. And Bruce is here. Hello, Bruce. Thank God Bruce is here. Oh my God. And hello, Bruce. And your eyes do not deceive you. This is not a Macintosh product. It is an IBM. An awful IBM. No, it's an IBM PS2 floppy drive. And look, that cap just looks tiny on those pads. It's so tiny. But that's alright. It'll be fine. And yeah. And we have 2 caps that we have to put on here, and we won't be able to test it today, just to temper your expectations, but we'll be doing that tomorrow when Mike comes over and we test it live. Alright, so that one will go here, and the other one's the same size, that'll go there. Excellent. Alright, so let's get some of our flux on here, if I can remember where I put it. Here it is. It's very weird when you don't do this for like a week or so, and then it's like, wait, what? Where's all my tools? That's plenty of flux for this little guy. All right. There's a little thread. How'd you get there? Get out of there. You don't need any contamination. You guys probably can't even see it, but I see there's this little bit of a thread. Lint or fabric or something. Come on. Come on, let's get over there. There we go. Don't worry, the dust will come back. Alright, that is not straight, but we will fix that in a second. Remember to smash that like button. That's an impression of Bruce doing an impression of us, but you get the idea. He does it better still. He was coming over on Sunday, but my Saturday plans got canceled, and let's just say it's probably for the best, because instead of me staying up late on Sunday and then going to working on Monday, it's better that we just be crazy on Saturday and we go as long as we want to. It's a wee tiny capacitor. Wee tiny capacitor. Yeah, Bruce, you missed it. We were just talking about how overpriced Mac Classics are. Well, how much overpriced Mac classics seem to be in the eyes of collectors these days. So, fun times. All right, so let's try and get this on right. Maybe too much solder, but it'll work. So anybody have nice plans for the weekend? Do anything fun? While I'm here, I'm just going to put some solder over that to cover that. Go. There we go. There's probably more solder on there than there is for the capacitor itself, but that's okay. Oh boy. And what I'm just going to do is just gently on this area, just touch that up a little bit and then go over with the wick there. Just before I put that capacitor in its place. Being very careful, I do not want to screw up this area, because that is right next to that plastic there. Yes, makes you want to sell some Mac classics. Oh boy. Alright, so what we're going to do is just clean up that little bit, because whenever I go to touch up something here, it seems to make a bit of a mess. And I apologize if the camera is a little dark. I probably did not do the white balance correctly here when I started the stream, so the zoomed in bits may be a bit darker, so apologies. But we had so many solder balls on here. Jay would be so proud of us from all this old crap that's just sitting around on this board. Got our new scalpels in. I haven't stabbed myself yet. Yet is the correct correct word to use there. Just jinxed myself. I'm sure I'm gonna stab myself any minute now. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anything huge here. Feel a fuzz on my scalpel there. Alright, that's in okay. Let me just get some of this little bits. Alright, so we're going to get the other capacitor out here. So that's the 4.725 volt. Those are the very tiny ones. Where's the normal size? Not the... Well, yeah, these are the pricey ones. So here's... we have two sizes here. We have this guy, which you can't really see. There we go. And then we have this one here. So we'll be using the bigger one. These are like $2 each. Jeez, I said that already, but... Well worth it if you need them, though. They could, I mean, for as far as vintage computer parts go, it could be worse. And Mike paid me for them, so it doesn't... I'm not complaining to him or anything. Alright, so we have this other capacitor here that is ready to go. And we'll put some magic flux on there. And just like Bruce, my flux got lost in the mail. I know I said that already, but I'm repeating it because Bruce is here. And again, we get some fuzz on there. Let's get that off, please. Thank you. Alright, and the positive pad is up there, so the stripe points upwards as well. Boop. There we go. I'm just hoping, Bruce, that like, a few weeks from now, all of a sudden we'll just get a package in the mail and it's going to be our flux and we're like, oh good, bonus flux. I just don't want to burn that thing. Okay, that's not too bad. I didn't touch it, yay! Alright. Okay, so the only other thing I want to do now is just take this wick here and just go across some of these traces because they are pretty yucky, and just loosen up some of the crud here and just coat some of the ones that are still exposed with some soldering. Ow! Copper hot. Fire hot. I will check in a moment, sir. We did test continuity before, and they all looked okay, but be happy to check again. Bruce could spot continuity issues from a mile away, or 1,700 kilometers, something like that. Oh, we are taking too much solder away from that little area there, but yeah, I just want to, because on mine I had to reflow one of these pins, so we're gonna test that also. All right, and yeah, let's get some, if we can, try and get some of this nasty. It's not gonna work. No, it's just gonna slightly singe anything I do. So don't want to singe anything here. Got all this flux on here now. All right. Well, we got some of the crap off of there, so that's good at least. Make sure that is still on there firmly. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Okay. Yeah, this whole area is fun. Let me just clean this up a little bit, then I'll continue. We're using Jay's favorite pink Q-tips today, because I have no idea where the other ones went. And we are out of focus a little bit. Sorry, guys. Make everything clean and shiny. Ew. And so we'll test this tomorrow when Mike is over, but still some things we can just clean up here, because there were solder balls all over the place before I even touched this. That's fresh, rare IBM solder balls from the factory. Let's see if we could get any of this loose crap out of there. Because we don't want that there. No, sir. No, sir. Don't worry, Dana. Mike will be here tomorrow. Just, less than 24 hours from now? 20 hours from now? Something like that? Fear not. Alright, let's, are you going to show your Mac Classic? Well, not today. Tomorrow. We're looking at IBM stuff here. Alright, let's zoom out a little bit. Well, adjust this a little bit, rather. And let's make sure everything is going where it's supposed to go here. Okay, that pad's okay. Let's test this one here. Yep, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let's test from here to here. It's okay. Whoop. Nope. My multimeter battery must be very low because it just shut off in the middle of that. So it couldn't beep anymore, Captain. Oh, that's over there. That's why it's not doing anything. Duh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this one goes... I think it's also attached to one of these here. Yeah. Alright, cool. Eep. So that looks like it's okay. I'm just going to touch up some of these traces and put some solder on them, but we do have our capacitors replaced. Yay! So that is very nice. We don't have to worry about those leaking any further. Did a much worse job on mine. The leakage, rather, was just horrible on mine. So good to know that they are... that's no longer be a problem. And I do see... I'm just checking the caps compared to the one I did for mine. And I may have, Bruce. I'll go back to that in a second. I just want to double check. I'm curious if this is, what's this one? 16K? Yeah, and this is... Yeah, so I did my diagram wrong. That was... Let me just correct that here. I have a PC Junior printer, but that's the only PC Junior thing I have. I made a little diagram here when I was doing mine. I just need to make a note. Swap these values. Okay. Cool. Okay, sorry, Bruce. Which did I forget to test? Forgiveness, please. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think... Well, that needs to be a little cleaned up anyway, so... Left of the screw. Yes, sir. So this one here connects to the back of that and to this little trace here. Now this here, is that ground maybe? Where does that go? Well, yeah, well, whatever it is, it connects here also. So that is making a connection to wherever it probably has to go. Very, very scientific method. Beep, 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 beep. All right. Okay, so let me just clean up a little bit of this stuff here. I just want to... just looking with my eyes here. Yeah, so there's just a little bit of touch-ups we have to do with the traces here, but I'm just going to put a little bit of solder on those areas, and we're just going to put the wick over it, and it should make that all okay. And of course, the solder I have on my iron is just sitting around there, not doing anything. How dare you? Okay. Got an XT clone, a Commodore PC-23. I've never heard of that. My friend Brian, who I met at the E-Waste place, and he watches the show a bunch. He picked up a bunch of like early stuff. I think one of the machines he has, or at least one of them, is a Compaq branded IBM luggable, IBM compatible luggable, which is pretty neat. I mean, I'm not really into that type of stuff, but it's cool to see it. See all the crap that comes out. Ew. Really? You don't do something for a while and you lose your touch. The last Q-tip. I have more upstairs. I'm just too lazy to go get them right now. But so we will test this tomorrow. We'll be able to get a better idea of if it's working. It should be okay. I think and I'm forgetting what Mike said like less than an hour ago. I think he tested it, but he was getting some seek errors or something like that. So maybe just having those capacitors be a leaky mess did not help anything. But if needed, we will touch this up further. And I see another solder ball hanging around here. But that's not the end of this stream. I'm going to show off some neat things that I got fairly recently that I'd like to share. So that's your treat for watching some IBM stuff here. We'll be talking about some Mac stuff in a second. Let me just get this solder ball out of here. No, bad solder ball. All right, any other solder balls hanging around here? Let's see. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, wait. We don't. Oops, it's still stuck on my scalpel there. No, thank you. We just don't need you hanging around there. Thank you. Okay, all right, so I think that will do it for that, which is good. So we have our IBM floppy drive that came from Mike's IBM PS2 model P70. And that looks to be in great shape now. And so it will be sitting here waiting for him to arrive tomorrow. And for comparison, here's mine with the top part removed. For my IBM PS2 has a nice clear caddy on the back. I wish the Apple caddies, instead of beige, they were clear. That would be cool if they were. This is very good quality plastic, it seems. But yeah, so we got that out of the way, so that's good. So let me move the microscope out of the way here. Let's not spill over all of our alcohol. Why does it seem so dark in here? What am I doing? Oh, the light over here is turned off. Let me turn that light on. And let me turn the other light on. Let me move the camera for a moment. Okay. All right. That should be much better, hopefully. Adjust the tripod again so you can see me, maybe. Hey, there I am. All right, let me just catch up on the chat here. If the internal speaker is not working, did it work before? Maybe the the SEs don't generally need to be recapped, but maybe something is not connected correctly, or maybe there's I don't know if the cable ripped off or something, or if the speaker is damaged, or the speakers also just go on some of those. I believe Bruce, he might be able to chime in. He's dealt with a few more of those machines than I have as far as speaker issues and such, but all right. So now I'm just going to show off some cool things that I picked up, and if you guys have any questions or anything about anything pretty much at all, let me know. I will try and answer them. Let's get rid of some of this junk here. Okay, so let me show off some things here. So I like to go on eBay and browse things just like the rest of you guys. And whenever I find something that's a pretty good value, I usually jump on it. And this was one of those things where I looked at eBay. It was actually during one of Bruce's streams, so I have him to blame for this. Essentially, I think he was recapping his 2SI, and I was looking at the adapter cards for the 2SI, the PDS to NuBus adapter. And I just happened to eBay one. There was one for like $12 on eBay. And I said, that's a pretty good price. I wonder what else this seller has. And that went into a rabbit hole of me looking at stuff. And so one of the things I picked up from that seller was this. And this is a PCI Ethernet 10100 card. And it's not a necessarily rare thing. It's just that I don't have a lot of Ethernet cards for PCI Macs because a lot of them came with Ethernet built in. However, like this Macintosh clone here that I have, that Ethernet card that's built in on the motherboard, rather, not the card, but the chipset there, is only 10 megabit, and whenever it's connected to my gigabit router, it just flips out. It does not know how to associate an IP address with that. The handshake is just not happening there. However, I have an Asante Fast 10100 Ethernet card that's a PCI card, that when I plug it into there, it works fine, and that's on a gigabit network, even though it's only a 100 megabit card. So I figured, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have another 100 megabit Ethernet card here. This is a Kingston brand. So we're going to open this up here. And look at that. It's just, the plastic is even branded there. So it's not even like some generic plastic thing here. That is pretty neat. And looks like this card is for Windows and Mac. So let's see what model number this is. Model KNE110TX. So if you find any of these, they are Mac and PC compatible. That's the card looks like here. Wait for the camera to decide whenever it wants to focus. Maybe. Maybe. Come on. It's not going to bite you. Well, let's try the other side here. There we go. So, very cool. I got a weather alert. I didn't hear any beeps on my side. I got a missed call a minute ago, but make sure it wasn't urgent. Alright. Anyway, back to this. So this Ethernet card here is both Mac and PC compatible. And the reason I say that is there's this little card that comes with this. And the card says, "Attention Macintosh users! Due to overwhelming demand, we have included a second diskette containing the Macintosh driver for your convenience." So there are two discs here. One is for Macintosh. It says Mac version on it here. And one says for DOS, PC version there. So, well, it says DOS. It's probably for Windows 95 or something like that. But, or later, actually. These have a copyright down the discs of 1999. So, yeah, this is pretty modern-ish card. It's only, 21 years old. And it has the little booklet and everything. So I'll be scanning this stuff down. I'll be archiving these discs and everything. I'm sure I've seen some Kingston drivers on Macintosh Garden. They are probably okay. But look at that. You got a little Novell logo there. You got a Windows logo there. And you got a Mac OS logo there. So that's very cool to see an Ethernet card like this. That's just compatible. Let's see what it says for Mac. It says the Apple driver is on the Kingston website. Web is spelled with all capitals. Download the file. Decompress it with Stuffed Expander. That's all the instructions for that. Let's see if it requires a certain version of the Mac OS. I mean, obviously this is a PCI card, so it would be for PowerPC Macs. So that's going to be, I'm going to guess, 7.1. Whatever you needed. Supports Open Transport. Yeah, it doesn't even say a Macintosh operating system. It says like Windows 95, Windows 98, Novell NetWare 4.x, 3.x, and it just says Apple Open Transport. So, Open Transport compatible. Pretty cool. Alright, good luck. Good luck with the SE. Alright. So yeah, that was just this little Ethernet card I picked up. Let me put this back in the case there. Put all the discs with it so I don't lose it, but I will be archiving those. And I don't know what Mac I'll be putting this in, but good to have. Good to have. So make sure I'm just not missing anything urgent. Nope. Alright, cool. Alright, so next thing I want to show off. Let's see if we could find it in this box here. What is this? Oh, this is just a bunch of memory. So I believe these are nothing too fancy. I think these are a megabyte each. But I saved on shipping and I got sort of a bundle deal of getting a bunch of stuff from this guy. And so these are 4 1 megabyte modules. These are what, 30 sims, 30 pin sims. So probably good for, I don't know, Macintosh SE, Macintosh Plus, or something like that. Not that I necessarily need sims that are this small, but I do have some that are, you know, like my Mac. I think I have a Mac Plus that only has a megabyte, so this will bring it up to 4 if they are compatible with it. And the price was, I think it was like $10 or $12, $15, something like that. So big enough gamble, a low enough gamble that I could just see, hey, if they work, they work. If not, I also have, for my IBM, there's a memory expansion card that actually takes these sims. So if they don't work on a Mac, maybe they'll work on the PC. So that'll be part of our fun tomorrow. So that's just a little thing I picked up there. What else we got? We got some cables. So the first here, this is an Apple Image Writer cable for the Apple IIc. And I actually did not have one of these. So this you can see, I'm not going to open it now because I don't need it right now, but this has the big fat barrel plug. That's not a mini DIN connector. That's a full-size DIN connector there. And that plugs into your Apple IIc. Not the 2C Plus, just the 2C. And this will go to the original Apple Image Writer. So that's the, like the, I don't know how many pins that is, but that's the original pin out for that. And so this is a 6-foot Apple IIc to Image Writer 1 cable by Computer Interconnection Accessories. Fully shielded, high-quality computer cable. So, yeah. That's a blast from the past, still sealed. Speaking of still sealed, this is another cable. And this is for a Macintosh Plus or a Macintosh 512K. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not the Plus. The 512K or the 128K uses the older DB9 serial port. And this is, again, sealed. But you can see there, it's the older plug there. Come on. Like that. And actually, this is resealed. So, let me just open this up here to show you. There's a little booklet inside, too. Sometimes this tape, like old tape, it just actually is very sticky, or sometimes it's just brittle. This is actually very sticky. I don't think this cable has ever been out of this bag. This looks brand new. Look at the coloring on it. That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. This has never been touched. Wow. That's cool. Alright, so we have the cable there. So this is DB9. That's the older serial port that the older Macs used. And on the other side, this is the mini DIN connector. This will be for an Image Writer 2. So I have plenty of cables now to connect my Image Writers to not modern, what am I saying? To other Macintosh computers. So, and then we have a very important sheet here from Apple. What is this? Oh, neat. This is about plugging things in. Copyright 1985. Wow, look at that. That is cool. Be sure your system folder has been updated on each of your application disks to take advantage of the features of the Apple Image Writer 2. The Image Writer's icon has changed every time since there's a new improvement. Open your system folder to check the Image Writer icon. Oh, wow. That's cool. I didn't know that. So there's a difference between these drivers. They actually changed the icon to make it easier to tell. So the newer driver has the little dots on the page. The older driver either has a picture of a Mac or a picture of the printer, but no dots on the image. That is neat. That is neat. All right, I'll have to scan this in. I mean, it's just a little helpful tip there, but this cable is brand new, man. That is cool. I do have one that I picked up that is used, so I'll probably just put this away to use for another time and use the used cable that's yellowed because I don't really care, but it's kind of nice having some of these things that are like kind of new and untouched. Let's put it back in the bag before I destroy it by dropping it or something horrible. That is very cool. Very cool. Okay. Alright. And let's see what else we got here. There was one more item. Did I leave it upstairs? Nope, here it is. There's actually a few more things here. Alright. Now this is really cool. This here is a Radius graphics card. And look at the plastic here with the big Radius logo embossed on it. That is just really cool. So this is a later Radius card. So this piece of plastic can hold a 12-inch Radius card. But this is just holding a smaller PCI card here. But let me open this up here. Very dusty, but So this is a Radius card from 1995. I believe it's a Thunder Wave or something like that. Let's see, does it say it on there? No, it just says Radius 1995. So this was not like not a card that you would probably find in a lot of machines. I know that this was an option on some Power Macs, and Radius obviously put some of these cards, or some of the later cards that they had, in their Mac clones. So I'm very curious just to see how this works and how this performs. Interestingly enough, there's a DB15 connector here, but there are spots on the board. There are these pads here where you could install, I suppose, maybe from the factory it would have been an option, a DB9 connector, or sorry, VGA connector. So not that I'm going to do that. You probably need some resistors there because they are blank there. But this is very cool. So this is has a chip on there that says S3 Vision 968. I think it's a Thunder Wave. Well, let me look at the auction here. I don't want to guess here. Let me just see what this was. Going on eBay, waiting for the app to load. It doesn't smell like 1995. You know, if 1995 had an odor, I don't know exactly what it would be, but I don't think it smells like that. All right, so this was just listed as a. I have to click on see the original listing. Blah blah blah. See description. Vintage Radius PCI Thunder graphics card. Great stuff, as is. Untested prices. Thanks for looking. Long live Apple. Now that is an eBay seller I could get behind, and that's why I purchased a lot of this stuff from them, because this card was $20. So you know what? $20. That's a good price. Even if it doesn't work. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work. It looks pretty good to me. But you know what? Not bad. So happy to pick that up for $20. I consider that a pretty good deal. So that's a Radius graphics card here that I'm going to probably be putting in maybe a Mac clone, or maybe a 9500 or something like that. I do want to just see what model it is and what it's capable of, because I really don't know. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, so second to last item here. Let's open this up. How is this actually... Jeez. Some of these are just... There we go. Alright. So, this is a Super Mac Nubus card. Now, it's nothing too fancy. It's not like a high-end, top-of-the-line graphics card or anything like that. This is actually a monochrome card. Where does it say it on here? Yeah, monochrome. So this is not a color card, but I think this would drive... I have a few black and white CRTs. I have one Apple 13-inch, and I have the portrait display. So I'm curious if this would run either of those. And, it wasn't too expensive, so I figured why the heck not. And I don't have any monochrome cards. This is interesting. This is made in 1990, and they were still making monochrome cards. But I guess the resolutions were high. Maybe they were trying to drive like the 2-page displays that were in color and stuff like that. But let's see. This has a number on this on the ROM chip here of let's see if you could read that. If we could get into focus here. Come on, please. There we go. Copyright date in 1990, and that is 1003119-0001B. Monochrome, version 1.01. So, yeah, I will never turn down a good price for a Nubus video card, because a lot of the Nubus computers I have, especially like the Macs, like the 2SI and stuff like that, they're good to have a video card on, especially if the built-in video does a weird thing that it needs sync on green, or needs some weird adapter, and it doesn't play nice with most LCD monitors or modern monitors and stuff like that. So always good to have an option of that. So that was cool. The last thing I want to show you is in this bag. Now, who could guess what this is? I want you guys to guess. Macintosh monochrome display from 1990. I just bought one. Well, how about that? I have one that is monochrome. I don't know what the heck the name of it is, but yeah, it is a monochrome one. It came with the Macintosh 2 I bought. I overpaid for the Macintosh 2. I could paid $120. And it was all yellow, but you know what? I've never seen one. And I didn't really want the monochrome monitor, but hey, now I have one. So yeah, this is a little adapter card here. Now, at first glance, it would just look like it's some sort of PDS to NuBus adapter for like an early Macintosh, and it kind of is. So this is also made by Radius. This is a Pivot 2SI interface. And what this is designed to do, it's designed to sit in like a Macintosh 2SI, as the name makes sense. And there's a little socket here for your coprocessor, your math coprocessor, your FPU. So if you had one of those chips, you could just slap it in that little slot there. And then you have this little header here, and then you have this. Now this is a NuBus slot, I believe. And this header is to actually drive a proprietary Radius pivot monitor. Now, the pivot monitors were kind of like the portrait display where you had a portrait mode, but Radius had the idea of, well, if you could turn that monitor, you could also have a traditional landscape monitor. So, you know, some of these modern LCDs have an arm where you could take the monitor, the monitor's extra wide, and you could go like this, and now the monitor's very tall, and it's good for word processing or stuff like that. Well, that was the idea with these, but with heavy, bulky CRTs in like 1990, 1993, something like that. So the reason I got this card is apparently, and unfortunately the information on this is a bit sketchy, I'll get to that in a sec. Apparently, you can get this to work on a Macintosh SE30. There were versions of this card meant for the Macintosh SE30, but apparently you can get this one to work on that. Now, if that's the case, that would be pretty cool to have a Macintosh SE30 with some color video output. Whether I can get that to work or not is up for debate. The problem is that the information about this card was on the Macintosh 68K MLA board, the message board. Now, I do like that website. I'm not knocking anybody who posts on there who hosts it or moderates it or anything. But they have a track record of just like, once in a while, they'll just be wiped out. And all the information gets lost, all the posts get lost. And it's just terrible because it's like, tons of information was there, and I guess maybe they're not doing backups or whatever they're doing. I wish they would rectify that. Hopefully they are. But also, that website just seems to go down a lot. I mean, over the past 2 weeks, I've tried to visit it a few times, and they're always having issues. So I'm trying to look for more information on this. There are a few threads on there. I just think I haven't found the right one. But it's funny, the eBay person listed this as being compatible with the 2SI and maybe the SE30. And then he posted an update in July on the eBay listing saying, from somebody, I guess, that emailed him, yes, that does work with an SE30. The information is here, and that link just goes nowhere. So, yeah, their website must be hosted on a Mac Plus with, like, some Rifa caps that are popping every 5 minutes, Sean. But, yeah, so hopefully this will be something I could play around with. I do have that Macintosh SE30. I still have to tinker around with more. But I figured this was $20. You know, it's not too big of a gamble. If it doesn't work in the SE30, maybe I could mess around with it in my Macintosh 2SI or another machine. And it's a pretty oddball thing because it has this connector here. It also has a pass-through, and it has the slot for the FPU. So, figure, why the heck not? Not a bad buy. So that was the last item I had to show. I do have something else. Did I bring that upstairs? It's upstairs. I'll be right back. Just 1 minute. Let me put up the be right back screen, and I'll be sharing a few things, and then we'll wrap this up. So if anybody has any questions about anything, you think about that, and I'll be back in like 60 seconds. Okay, so open up this box of goodies here. There's a bunch of little things inside here. Alright, so Mike, you still there? Give me a sound off if you are, and I'll show you something that I think you'd be interested in. But, so, every once in a while I'll find, again, a seller on eBay, and I'll go get one thing, and I'll realize I have more, and I end up getting a bunch of things. And what's good is most of those people have best offers, and you can just make an offer on a bunch of stuff, and you save some cash. So, this guy had a bunch of buttons, a bunch of Apple buttons. And so here is one of those buttons. It's just an Apple logo on it. It says, wear number 1. And these are cool things. I can wear them during a live stream or when I do one of these scripted videos or something like that. Hello, Christopher. Welcome to the chat. And I just think they're really cool. So I bought a bunch of these from this guy. This guy had a ton of them. And I think these are just really neat. They don't take up a lot of space. And they could be used as fun props. So I'm just going to show you the ones I got here. Let me see how many. I think he has an invoice here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Over 20 buttons that I picked up here. So we're going to look at these buttons and I'm going to sign off. I have some other things I got to do today. But let's enjoy some of these buttons here. This is a cool one. This is a yin yang one with Mac OS and Macintosh System 7.5. Oh, come on. You want a focus camera for me? Let me turn on the manual focus here because we're going to be pointing a lot of these pins at the camera here, and it's not going to be focusing for us. So let's just fix that real quick, and we're going to change that to here. And sorry, I'm using a little trackball here, so I'm like wiggling this around. There we go. And let's go to focus. Where's focus? Where the heck is it? Does this one not have? Oh, come on. How can I find this thing? Exposure mode, brightness, contrast, saturation, sharpness. Where's focus? Maybe I can't. I used to be able to do it on this camera. Oh, there it is. Auto. Uncheck. Sorry, I'm just going blind today. I can't see anything. All right, let's and the exposure got all screwed up. Let's fix that. Sorry, I'm messing around with a lot of things today. I just shouldn't be doing that because there we go. That's whoop. Sorry, I keep screwing this up. Oh, that's not good. Let's put that back. There we go. Okay. All right. Now let's go back to the focus. All right. So let's see if this will help there. If I do it like that. Oh, come on. I almost had it. Sorry. This control is a little finicky and it's a little delayed, so it's hard for me to tell. I'm just setting it up now, so we'll have them all set. All right, that's good enough. Okay, so yeah, you saw this one. This is like the Yin Yang System 7.5. Very neat. Okay. Next one here is from Macworld 1995. This is pretty cool. So, Unplugged, the Apple Mobile Message System. And I have no idea what the heck the Apple Mobile Message System was or is, but yeah, probably something that just died a horrible death. Alright, we got a bunch of other buttons here. Let's go through them. This is for WordPerfect. And they have a button that says Forever Mac. And then around it just says WordPerfect, WordPerfect, WordPerfect. So, pretty neat. Okay, what else we got here? Well, here's a Macworld pin. That's pretty neat. I do like the color scheme. I'm going to say this was probably early 2000s. I remember some of their magazines had a similar thing there. Had a similar color scheme. We're perfect! Yes. It does sound like that. I don't know. Some people swear by WordPerfect, so in their eyes, maybe it was perfect. All right, now this is pretty neat. This is an AOL America Online button, and it's like, I'm a member. My screen name is, and then they have an area where you could write in your screen name. That is not my screen name. I did not write that there, but it came like that. And the guy had 2 of these, and he was asking a lot more money for the one without a username written in there. And I thought to myself, well, that's a little silly. It's also just a white area. I could just put tape over it or something, or I could just use alcohol and try and rub that off. But I also think it's pretty funny that it's just like has somebody's username that's inscribed on there from God knows when. So I think that sort of adds to it. So it's kind of funny. But there's a little battery on the back of this. And I thought maybe it would make a sound or something like that. But I've seen some of these online. And that battery just blinks a little red light to get your attention right there. So that's where that light would go. But I thought that was pretty neat. That this is a little piece of history there of some guy's screen name. Some guy or gal's screen name that they wrote on this button there. So thought that was pretty cool. All right, let's see what else we got in here. I think this is another Macworld one. Oh no, this is a different one. This is by Mass Microsystems. I want my Mac TV. So it's sort of like I want my MTV. This is I want my Mac TV. I had to look up this company. I just thought the pin was neat. So for a few dollars, I picked it up. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. But that's from Mass Microsystems. So no idea if they're still around or what that product was, but I'll have to look it up. This is cool. This is from Macworld Boston, 1996. And this says 25 million. I'm going to assume that's like 25 million users? 25 million Macintosh users or something. I have to find the correlation between that actual number. I'm sure it'll be in a press release somewhere, but that's probably like Macintosh users or Macintosh sales, something like that. I thought that was cool. Let's see, we got a few others here. Oh, here's another one. So this is 500,000 Mac user, 100% paid. So this might be subscribers. That's going to be my guess. 500,000 subscribers for a Mac User magazine. They were a magazine here in the United States. I wouldn't necessarily think that they were 25 million subscribers for Macworld magazine. So that's, I think, a little bit different. But I always liked Mac User. I think my aunt had some old Mac User magazines she gave me. I have a tote bag that says Mac User on it, but the logo is very, very faded. And here's a very similar button to the one we looked at before. The color scheme is just slightly different. Again, I just like the design of it. So here's the yellow one from before and the red one. I just think they're pretty neat. What else we got here? Oh boy. There are some of a certain shape in here that they all go together, so I'll show you that. Oh, here's from Mac Week. I believe they were a publication also. So they're just pretty neat little logo. So nice little historic thing there. No shortage of paper towels after this. Oh, this is cool. I like this. Answer. New inside Macintosh. Now, I have no idea what this exactly correlates to, but I just like the design of it. I like that it has the Rainbow Apple logo on it. And it was probably a giveaway or some marketing thing they did at Macworld or something like that. But it was probably like, what's the best thing or blah, blah, blah or whatever. I just think it's pretty neat. So that's a cool one. And I just stabbed myself in the pin. Ow! Oh, and I love this. Anybody who's played around with System 7 is probably familiar with the At Ease software. And so this is Put Your Mind at Ease. And this is probably when they released that software. I just think that's really neat. I always liked the At Ease software. It was always installed on the computers when I was a kid at school. So I have a fondness for it. So I think that's pretty neat. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, and here's... And you thought Mac just had a desk job. I think this is for the Macintosh Portable. I'm going to guess that, because if they're saying the Mac had a desk job, it's being a desktop. This is either for the Macintosh Portable or the PowerBook. I'm going to guess the Portable, though. I originally was thinking PowerBook, but there's no dates on these. Oh, wait. Squeegee Graphics. That's probably the company that made the buttons, but... And I'm not going to go through all of these. There are some I'm going to save for tomorrow, because I'm going to give Mike one, and I want him to see it. But here's one. PowerBooks Unplugged, VST Power Systems. So VST is a company that makes batteries and power adapters. So very well known in the Mac community, and at least in the late 90s. They made also adapters for floppy drives and all sorts of stuff. Let's see, are there any others I could show now? I think I could do these two here. Ah, yes. QuickTime Starter Kit. Get started. Apple Utilities for Macintosh. So I think, again, not a pin you see too often. Promoting QuickTime as a starter kit. I guess they maybe sold some things with it. And this is printed by National Awards and Trophies. And there's a phone number on the back. But pretty neat. Yeah, VST did make good things, zip drives and stuff like that. And Mike, now that you're here, I could show off the button I was going to show. Here are these iOmega buttons, and they just have all these silly phrases on it. And when I was showing Mike some of them, he was laughing, and he said, "If you pick that one up, can I have it?" I was like, "Yes." So this is Mike's. It's just. They all have puns on the I, because iOmega with the I logo. And there's not many here. I'll show you guys. Here's I See Dead People, of course, because of the Sixth Sense movie that was popular around the time this pin came out. Of course. I wouldn't call it that, Trina. Oh, this is cool. This actually goes with the sort of the graphics card I bought. This is a really neat one. This is by Radius. It's a Thunder 3D pin here. So we have creativity at the speed of thought. That's a pretty neat thing. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. I surf. Oh, Mike. Another one from iOmega. There should be two more here. Yeah, here's a Wacom tablet one. Wacom your G3. So the Intuos Wacom tablet. This is a big button here. I just like the Apple logo on the front. But very neat. Yes, we actually meet in person. Well, that doesn't make it sound any better. And this is the pin that I saw first and I wanted it. I am a Mac head. And that is another iOmega button there. So, bunch of buttons. I'll probably be wearing them in live streams and using them for silly things when I do videos and stuff like that. But that's... Whoops, the focus is still off here. That is the little buttons that I picked up off eBay. I thought they were really cool. The guy still had a few others, but I actually had some of the ones he already had because I've been collecting buttons for a while. Just whenever I see these things, if they're a few dollars, I'll pick them up. I mean, it adds up, but especially when you buy them all at once. But at least I saved on shipping. So, how can I get the button from you with the Rainbow Apple logo on it? I like that button. No. Maybe after it's featured in a video, I don't need it anymore. But I sort of hoard this stuff. So, sorry, Trina. There are a bunch online. I will Slack you. I'll send you a Discord message. There's a cool one that I already have, but you might like it. It's a little multimedia one that Apple had. But that's about it. I mean, that's all I wanted to show you. We recapped the IBM floppy drive. I showed you some cool things I picked up that you'll see in some videos that are coming up. I do have our video that's coming up tomorrow, a live stream that's coming up with Mike from Mike's Mac Shack. That's going to happen sometime tomorrow around 2 o'clock-ish. I'm going to put it out in a Twitter link, and it'll be on YouTube. It'll be one of those things where, it'll remind you that it's there, hopefully, if the notifications work. But if you are sketchy of YouTube's notifications, Twitter usually works a little bit better. And so my Twitter handle is Mac84TV, same as my Instagram one. So if you want to catch me on social media, you could do that. I do have some shirts that are on my Patreon page, and I have tweeted the public ones out. So that is the shirts that say 2020, it blows, or it blows harder than a 32-bit CPU on a 16-bit bus or something like that. So I thought those were fun. People reacted nicely to the mock-up I did, so I said, you know what, I'll just put out shirts. And I think a few people ordered them already. We might see one of those tomorrow. So, and if you like these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. I almost have 3,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be releasing more scripted videos and such, so I hope you guys tune in for that. I know the people who are watching here are always watching, so that's very, very kind of you. So those who are already subscribed, you can't subscribe twice, I guess, but if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Make sure you hit the little bell icon so you get notifications from YouTube when I do subscribe. And Trina will wear her shirt. Thank you very much. And yeah, I guess that's about it. For those of you who support me on Patreon, thank you. For as little as $1 a month, you get behind-the-scenes videos and discounts on shirts and cool stuff like that. But I guess that's about it. So thank you, everybody, for joining me today. And I will see you tomorrow on a live stream with Mike from Mike's Mac Shack. So see you then. We'll have some crazy IBM goodness, and we'll have some image writers in there. It'll be fun. So take care, guys. See you later, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.